Good morning. The sponsors, organizers, and participants, thanks very much for this session. Since I'm the last presenter, I'll try to summarize what the two professors have said. So the main title here is just showing to you the main headlines that we've been facing the country like Malawi over the years. Initially, the headlines was maybe infrastructure development, road infrastructure, or investor support. But now we have a lot of headlines on issues related to climate change. I just want to show where Malawi is, because most of the people have not been to Malawi. We are close to South Africa, and we are bounded by Zambia and Mozambique. In terms of evidence, Professor Pasco has already provided some of the slides. It shows that at country level, we've seen that the amount of rains that we're receiving has been decreasing. And because the amount of rains is decreasing, it's also directly linked to food production, crop yield, and other challenges, even in terms of quality. We've also seen of late that the onset of the rains has been changing. Initially in Malawi, on average, we used to start planting our crops in October or sometimes in November. But over time now, we are planting close to December, sometimes in January, because of the rain has shifted. This has several implications. One, sometimes people have to provide a lot of labor waiting for the rains. Sometimes people have to plant twice in a season, and people don't have money to buy hybrid seed. We've also seen that because of a lot of land is being degraded due to floods, and that the amount of land per household size is being decreasing. And because it's decreasing, it's also showing that the amount of food that we have to access is also decreasing. This results to maybe malnutrition or health-related challenges. What are the impacts? This photo just shows that farmers over the past 5 years are planting, but the rains are not coming. And if the poor farmers have purchased hybrid seed and the seed has not grown better, they have to go back to the market to buy more seed. And then if they don't have money, they end up using either local seed or poor seed. This has an impact at local level food security. We've also seen that the dry spells are coming in different types, but over the season. Sometimes when you've just planted, sometimes when you're about to tassel, sometimes when you're about to harvest. And this is causing a lot of challenges where a lot of households are food insecure. Even if we want to turn this into livestock fodder or feed, the quality is of poor. This was another picture just to show you. This is this year. I think you read or maybe you heard on the TV that Malawi was hardly hit by floods and also dry, prolonged spells across the whole country. Now the title page is showing that we need a lot of funding to support our community. When I was growing up in the rural area, almost each and every household had this type of storage. And these are now decreasing in terms of size because we are not harvesting more. In some villages, you don't even see these things. People are just harvesting maybe 2 or 3 bags, and they're now storing them in their homes. We've seen a lot of deforestation because they don't have money from the farms. They're now using natural resources for their general livelihoods. This issue, especially close to my university, is a road close to a very good catchment forest area. The number of people entering into this sector is increasing, and it means we are deforestating a lot. It's affecting a lot of water quality as well as a lot of water quantity, especially in the urban areas. And most of our wetlands have also dried. It means people can't produce even in the winter season. So these are some of the impacts. Professor Pasco has already summarized them, but we know there's a loss of plant and animal species. As I was growing up, we used to eat some insects, very good insects, nutritious. We can't see them anymore because of the changes in the climate issues, loss of agricultural soil, wetland disturbance. We've also seen a lot of people moving from the rural areas going to the urban areas because land is no longer provide what it was planned for. We've also seen of new emerging pests and diseases that communities might not be able to handle. It requires new types of technologies. I've already covered issues of water quality and quantity, but we've also seen women now taking more roles that were not supposed to be taken by women, maybe even taking longer times to secure water. And this has an impact on child health as well as a lot of education-related issues. There are so many issues that are making Malawi and other countries in Africa to be very vulnerable. One of them is that we have poor infrastructure. Just a small flooding incident, all the houses could be destroyed, all the bridges could be destroyed. It means people want to be able to go to school, people want to be able to access health issues. And there's also urbanization. A lot of young people are moving from villages to urban areas. I think you've read in the UNHP literature that Malawi is one of the most urbanizing countries in Africa. Then we've also seen low farming technologies. We are still using the hand hoe, despite a lot of technologies, especially those from India. There are better technologies that are using to produce food. But in countries like Malawi, we are still doing a hand hoe. And then population growth has also an impact in terms of climate change. Currently, we don't have enough policies to reduce our population. Yes, we are adapting because over time we still see that we are surviving despite these challenges. But some of them we see that there's child labor, which has a direct implication to human rights issues. We've also seen young girls moving from rural areas, going to urban areas for prostitution issues, which is a health implication issue. We've also seen that a lot of people, especially around the urban areas, they are now selling their land. It means they were depending on land for food production. They no longer use that land. It means they have other livelihoods that are impacting on natural resources. People are migrating. I think you heard shortly that those that migrate to South Africa were returned, so it means the country has to put strategies for that. People are also into brick molding. The way we do our brick molding is very destructive. We use topsoil, call it topsoil, and burn it using charcoal or maybe firewood, which is also an issue to do with the emissions. And there's also another issue of Ganyo. I try to bring in some strategies. So when we are doing research at country level, we ask people, have you changed in terms of number of meals you are taking per day? You actually see that most of them, they've reduced the number of meals because they don't have food at a household level. And if they've reduced the number of meals per day, it means there's nutrition issues, health challenges, and disease challenges. This also has to do to access to food, which is one issue in terms of human rights. Sometimes, even if during the rainy season or agricultural season, people do other interventions. We did ask them, what do you do if you have challenges in terms of food security? The yellow component there, it clearly shows that a lot of people do work, piecework, instead of working on their farms. And because they're spending more time working somewhere, they don't have enough time to manage their agricultural plots. It means the yield will also be affected. This is just a picture to show you the bricks that are being molded on quality soil. It means we are removing quality soil and just enough rains that are able to flood or to destroy or to result into soil erosion. These are some of the technologies. This is seed, groundnut seed, preserved to plant in the next season. And because temperatures are increasing, they're also affecting the seed quality. When we plant, the yield is not of good quality. People do ask us, yes, there are scientists, there are people supporting us, what do we next? What do we do next? So there are some few things that we think we might do. Probably we need to identify the actual area or a country or an intervention, a community where we could provide issues and see what are the challenges. Are they institutional challenges or they are environmental challenges or socioeconomic challenges? We can point them together here, but we can also point them in specific communities. Then what are the interventions that we can do in each country or in each community? It might be in Malawi, it might be in Ireland, but we need to identify those interventions and identify what we want to achieve by the end of the day. And we're also suggesting that this has to be integrated work both at global level, at country level, at regional level. So like this intervention that Trocaire is bringing here, it will be the focal point of addressing these challenges. In terms of building resilience, we've proposed several issues, like we need to stop issues that are putting people at risk. We need also to make sure that we incorporate climate change information into planning as well as into interventions. Then implement measures that proactively reduce climate impacts. So for example, strong infrastructure could be one of the measures. I'll jump to that one. We need to transform livelihood strategies. So I gave you an example of people depending on charcoal production. We need to transform that. They should be depending on some other alternative energy rather than charcoal production. Adopt practices that enable vulnerable people to protect existing livelihood strategies, especially better livelihood strategies, and address gaps in food production. So like yesterday, we head of technologies, maybe alternative energy. We can sell that energy and have money to buy food rather than depending on land. Diversify income sources. We've always argued that maybe agriculture might not be the right situation in the next few years. We need to find other income sources. Also, education and training. It was also raised last afternoon that if we bring these issues to the young people, both in the universities, in the secondaries and primary schools, we might generate the awareness that is required at global level. In Malawi, cultural issues, there was also an issue. Cultural issues are quite important. If we incorporate those cultural issues in our planning or as well as in our technology, we might be able to achieve global strategies as well as global goals. I said that these are my cousins right away from my village. They do smile, but behind them, there's a challenge that we need to address at global level, at national level, as well as community level. Thank you.